Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays. We are kicking off today with two games, two really good games. The first one from MKDudu in the WZ-131, the Tier 7 Chinese light tank. Now, this is a tank I really enjoyed playing, but because it's the same tank as the Type 62, which I also own, I decided to sell it. But I did enjoy this tank when I did have it. MKDudu is here on Swamp, and it is a 62%er, so MKDudu probably needs to be fairly aggressive, and he's going to be aggressive in this game. He advances straight through the swamp. He's moving into a position I haven't seen very many scouts move into before, but I may try it myself looking at the results of this game. So MKDudu is being really aggressive. He's pushing up. He's a little bit of lag, unfortunately. Happens at the start of most of my replays. But he has gotten some spots, or someone has gotten some spots. And he's using these bushes to stay hidden. And he's holding his fire, but I don't think he needs to because the bushes and trees in front of him are solid. And he starts to go to work. So he gets a nice shot in on that STA-1, and it does get him spotted. So the bushes are not giving him as much camo as I thought they would. But he is going to work on these tanks in front of him. Unfortunately, you can't see the outline. But he is tearing these tanks apart as they try to cross the bridge. Doesn't have much to shoot at the Chiri, but manages a little hit in. There we go. So the Chiri is just giving him a fraction of his tank around the building. And MKDudu gets another lovely shot in. That takes him up to 1200 damage already, and the game is only just getting started. But really aggressive position for MKDudu. I have not seen scouts go there before, but really nice kill on the Chiri. That is MKDudu up to 1300 damage. And he's continuing to look for victims. He advances and did have a shot in the side of the Leva, but his friendlies took the Leva out before he could fire. So long distance shots on this Jagdpanther 2. He is going for the lower glacis. Doesn't seem to have hit. Now, what gun is MKDudu using here? He's using a... it's not the final gun. He's using the 85mm. I think that's the same gun as on the Type 62. 159mm of penetration with 200 alpha damage. But the rate of fire is quite good. A shot every 5.3 seconds. And MKDudu's continuing to work. He's not really being a scout. He's being more a medium tank damage dealer. He's not doing a lot of scouting. And it is a Tier 9 game, although there were only 2 Tier 9s on either side. So MKDudu is relocating. He's trying to see whether or not he can get an angle on the Leopard. Enemy 59-16 in the distance, but again, his team are very good. That's one of the problems when you've got a good team, is that enemy tanks seem to die very quickly. You've got to be really aggressive if you want to get damage out of a game. And that's what MKDudu is going to be. He's being very aggressive, he's taking a risk, he's pushing on the Leopard. And he's auto-aiming, gets a beautiful shot in, he's taking fire from a Comet behind him. But his team see he's in trouble. KV-1S comes down to deal with the Leopard. MKDudu gets another shot in and finishes off the Leopard with his superior rate of fire. So his team are now advancing across the ridge behind him. Because MKDudu made that really aggressive move, his team decided to follow him, and they have won the middle of the map. That leaves MKDudu on almost 2,000 damage. 3 enemy tanks left, and this is a complete domination. So T-30 in the distance. Sometimes I find it difficult, maybe it's my eyesight, but I find it difficult to see what angle the enemy tanks are in just from their outline. And MKDudu is bouncing. It's very difficult to see how this T-30 is angled, but MKDudu gets a track shot in. Tracks the T-30, does a little bit more damage, taking him over 2k. And is able to get another one in. And again, his team take out the T-30 before he can do any more damage. So he's on 2 kills, 2.3k damage, just 2 enemy tanks left. He's on his premium ammo for this Type 59. And he gets a nice shot in. Type 69 returns fire and ammo racks him. But MKDudu still has the reload. Is able to circle him and finish him off at his leisure. So kill number 3, 2.7k damage. Just 1 tank left, it's enemy RT. And MKDudu has switched back to his regular AP. Well, this is a big damage game from a tier 7 light tank in a tier 9 game. And again, he's advancing on this M12. M12 fires and misses, and that gives MKDudu the opportunity to get behind to his side, take him out for kill number 4, and finish up with 3k damage. So some really nice aggressive play in a light tank, as well as some very impressive damage dealing in the WZ-131. MKDudu finished top on XP with 1586, almost 1600 XP. He came second on damage with 3220. Huge damage total for that tank, and 4 kills. Really nice game, MKDudu, well done. He fired 25, hit 22, penned 20. Again, the penetration on the gun wasn't great, and MKDudu did switch to premium ammo when he needed to, but a huge damage total. He spotted 2, damaged 7, destroyed 4, and did 1839 assistance damage, along with 2 base capture points. He finished up with 25,500 credits with a premium account. He did have to fire some premium in a couple of places, but against tanks I probably would have switched to premium for as well. 2,379 XP, again with a premium account, no bonuses thrown in, but a huge game in a WZ-131. In a tank you don't see a lot of players playing very well, but I really enjoyed that replay, MKDudu. Keep them coming. Really nice game in a WZ-131. Moving on, we've got Hans DK2 in his Object 140, the tier 10 Russian medium tank. He is here on South Coast, and it's a 49%er, so very close game. Now Hans DK2 is top tier. It's a tier 10 game, 4 tier 10s on either side. But as I say, it's a pretty close game. And I do like the look of the Object 140, and judging by how many Object 140 replays I'm getting these days, you guys are submitting them to me, it seems to be a very popular tank. I definitely see a lot more Object 140s in-game these days than I see any other tier 10 medium from any nation, let alone the Russians. But Hans DK has gone up into a, well, I don't know whether it's a sniping position or a semi-spotting sniping position. And he is going to work. Now, that does get him spotted, but he gets a nice shot in on the side of the turret on the E75. And there is enemy RT in play. And just taking a shot from an Aufpanther who's over to his right. And goes for a blind shot in the direction the shot looked to have come from. No idea whether or not that went in. T69 decides to, I don't know what the T69 decides to do. Gets himself stuck. And Hans DK manages to bounce. Now, this Aufpanther's continuing to work on Hans from the right-hand flank, but he's bouncing. Now, I don't have a problem with players who snipe. The major difference between someone who snipes and someone who doesn't really contribute to a game is when they stay in a position sniping, even when there's nothing to shoot. But as long as targets are presenting themselves, and as long as you're damage dealing and making a contribution to the game, there is absolutely no problem sniping. even when you are top tier. So Hans gets his first kill on that enemy IS-3, gets a lovely kill or shot into the roof of the T-69. Now the AMX-120 is advancing, he's bouncing the E-75, he's still bouncing the Aufpanther, who is shooting gold. Not much to shoot on here. Now a T-57 Heavy presents himself and tries to ram a friendly T-44 to death. But now the T-54 is stuck. And another bounce. Oh, he's just bounced an E-75. He's just bounced an FV-215B. Aufpanther's constantly bouncing. He finally takes some damage. In fact, he's starting to take quite a bit of damage. Those last few shots from the Aufpanther, the FV, and now a 132 have actually penned and damaged him, took out his ammo rack. He then takes another damaging hit from an E-75 who's firing HE. So those tanks have suddenly started finding his weak spots. He is starting to take damage. He's down to half health, or less than half health. So he's had to fall back. But enemy tanks are still presenting themselves to be shot. So Hans is looking for a shot in this Leopard. Takes him out from long distance. That's his second kill of the game. He's up to 3.4k damage. And enemy tanks are still presenting themselves ahead of him to be shot. E-75 is still here. T-57 Heavy is on low health. So Hans is looking for shots on the E-75. Goes for not much of a hint of a shot. Very, very small hint of a shot by the E-75. Hans DK goes for it, but misses, unfortunately. And now this IS-7 has gone down to face hug the E-75. Hans DK is trying to support him. Doesn't have much to shoot at, and you can see that the accuracy on this gun is not fantastic. 2 shots that went absolutely nowhere near where Hans DK aimed them. But Hans DK did spot an AMX 5120 moving in on the IS-7. Now he spotted a T-34 moving across the middle. Goes for a track shot. And reverses just as the T-34 fires. Takes out the T-34 for kill number 3. E-75's in low health. Presenting his side. Hans takes him out for kill number 4. And now he's going to work on this 5120. Now, throughout this game, Hans DK has never stopped firing. He's basically been firing his gun constantly. Bounces on the turret of the AMX 5120. And now he's starting to think he's not going to have effective shots anymore. So he's starting to advance, gets a lovely shot into the 121. And now he's going back to work on this AMX 50B. So he was going to advance, but the enemy tanks again are presenting themselves to be shot. Another shot in on that 50B and bounces the 50B, or bounces a 121. He's up to 5.7k damage. Artie takes out the 50B. But 5.7k recorded damage, 4 kills. And there's still an AMX 5120 and a T-28 prototype ahead of him. So a lovely shot, very low roll, but lovely shot into the side of the AMX 5120 who is retreating. And Hans DK knows that his position is no longer viable. He's not going to get very many shots from there anymore, and he's now advancing. But he is on 6k damage, finds the T-28 prototype. 5120 and 121 are sticking together, they've gone back to defend. Still a pretty close game, it's 12-10. And Hans ambushes this T-28 prototype. He's quite low on ammo, in case you haven't noticed, because he's been constantly firing. He's only got 3 rounds of regular AP left and 5 rounds of HE. But he's gotten to the rear of this T-28 prototype. Was unfortunate to bounce one of those shots. Could come back to hurt him, but finishes off the T-28 prototype with his last AP shell. So Hans DK is down to 5 shells left, and they are all HE. 2 tanks left on the enemy team. But Hans DK is on 7k damage, 5 kills. 121 is on quite a lot of health. And the 5120, although lightly armored, is still on quite a bit of health. But I do love games like that, where the enemy team just keep on presenting themselves to be shot. So obviously, the Object 140 doesn't carry the most ammunition. Thankfully, the T-34 put a shot into the 121. RT takes out the AMX 5120, but that T-34 still managed to reduce the 121 down to 282. 282 health, is that enough for 5 HE shells? We're going to have to see. Now, Hans DK did tell his team he was down to 5 shells and that they were all HE. And he's advancing on this 121 really, really aggressively. 121 has no idea that Hans is on HE only. And unfortunately misses that shot and takes 441 damage. But he's down to 3 shells, 88 damage into the side. And again, his team are missing the fact he told them he only had HE left. 96 damage with that shot. He's a one-hit kill. He bounces the 121. He's got 2 shots left. 35 damage. Enemy tank is on 63 health. He's only got 1 shell left. Aims for the engine deck with the final HE shell and takes him out for kill number 6. What an ending to a game. Wow. Hans TK2 fired every single shell in his tank. He picked up the ace tanker. He picked up the Faden's medal for killing the last enemy tank with the last shell in his tank. So lucky that last HE shell penned the enemy engine deck and did damage and managed to take him out. But he also picked up a cool headed for surviving at least 10 ricochets. He picked up high caliber. He picked up top gun, and he picked up a steel wall. Big medal haul in a really big game. He finished top on XP with 1383, 7,757 damage. Big damage game. 6 kills. He fired 45, hit 34, penned 31. Huge amount of damage. He received 20 hits and managed to bounce 14 of them, blocking potential damage of 3,215. He spotted 1, damaged 10, destroyed 6, and did 1,676 assistance points. Huge game, and I just can't believe the enemy tanks just kept presenting themselves to be shot. But never ever look a gift horse in the mouth. Almost 49,000 credits earned for that game, even though he had to spend a heck of a lot on ammo and fired every single shot, but still a really nice credit total. 2,074 XP with a premium account, with a 518 XP bonus thrown in, leaving him on 2,592. Really big games today, guys. Really nice damage games as well. So wonderful, exciting game from Hans DK2 and his Object 140. Thank you for sending it in. And a really big damage game and a really aggressive scout game in the WZ-131 from MKDudu. Thank you guys both for sending those in, and I hope you guys at home enjoyed watching them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.